Nest of trouble. PetSmart says it has stocked sick parakeets at more than 500 stores nationwide, and humans are at risk. NBC 10's Sierra Putman has more on the local angle, if any. Sierra?
Well, I spoke to PetSmart earlier today and asked specifically whether southern New England stores were affected. The company wouldn't say, so I made a few calls, and it looks like that is not the case. People have kept parakeets as pets for decades. For that same amount of time, there's been a threat owners could contract psittacosis chlamydia from those birds.
The problem is that they have to rely on a sort of a parrot mill type of a situation. Conditions are similar to those in puppy mills. It's inevitable that sooner or later disease is going to break out in those overcrowded facilities.
This year, psittacosis chlamydia popped up in a flock of birds sold at PetSmart. The O'Briens from the Chicago area bought one of the infected birds.
Came home and our bird was dead.
My mom started to cry.
My husband's sick, my sister is sick.
PetSmart tells NBC 10 it found 16 sick birds. 511 stores nationwide were affected. None of the sick birds were here at pet stores in Rhode Island. PetSmart would have to notify the state veterinarian. NBC 10 also called all the PetSmart stores in Massachusetts, and it doesn't seem like any of the sick birds were there either.
Had an outbreak actually last year that we traced into some local pet stores, but I haven't heard of anything in the new outbreak.
As well as parakeets, the disease also infects parrots and cockatoos. When transferred to humans, it produces flu-like symptoms. It's easily treated in both birds and humans, but it can also be fatal.
So people with HIV, people undergoing cancer chemotherapy, people that have an immune system that's suppressed for any reason should be very cautious and probably ought to talk to their physician before they acquire a bird.
PetSmart says it sent the birds back to the breeder for medical treatment, but Johnson has doubts the birds will survive.
Just the transport alone, a certain number will die.
And if you fear that your bird could be sick, well, PetSmart has agreed to pay to get some birds tested. But of course, that only applies to people who actually bought a parakeet from one of its stores. Reporting live in the newsroom, Sierra Putman, NBC 10 News.